What's going on, everybody? It's Rebel SMG here, and now we're going to go over our Gizmø Glider 2-point padded sling. So the Gizmø Glider 2-point sling comes with everything you need to get started. This one won't come in its own poly mailer bag. It'll most likely just come loose. On the next run, I'll probably work on putting a tag on it or making it look a little cleaner as far as the packaging concerned, but it'll just come loose like it did last time. The cool part about this one is just how many features it has built into it. So if you unravel it here, you'll notice that the Gizmø Glider has 2 sling keepers, and it comes with 2 universal sling mounts. One right here and one right here. And I want to go over these real quick. So these universal sling mounts came because on the last run, people kept asking me, do you have a mounting system? Do you have a mounting system? Do you have an option to include, the quick release? Do you have an option to include the pair clips? And the answer is no. As a seller of stuff, that stuff can get kind of expensive. In some cases, the QD mounts can be more expensive than the sling itself. But with that being said, I thought of a way to have universality, the ability to, out of the box, for this to fit almost anyone's stuff. So I came up with just these universal mounts right here. Now, it's on the apothecary medical bag, although it has the adapter for the sling. But these have what I consider to be hilariously long loops that you can attach and put on any long gun that you want. So let's imagine that this is just like the section of a M-lock rail, and you just loop it through like I just did. You just wrap it around and you loop it through. And as you see, I have a shotgun on the table, which I'll demonstrate with. But these guys enable you to mount this to anything out of the box. So every Gizmø Glider will come with 2 of these and 2 sling keepers, which I'll go over in a second. That enables you to mount it to anything out of the box. And what I'm going to do right now in order to further, reduce the embarrassment in the later part of the video is I'm actually going to tighten these guys a little bit because, as I mentioned earlier, it being extra long makes it universal. But when you mount it on something, as I discovered in the apothecary video, it just looks a little funny because it requires a little bit of fitment to make sure that it fits what you're doing. So I'm going to go ahead and make these a little tighter just for that. So through editing magic, it'll be done real quick. And then we'll go ahead and continue on with the rest of the video. Okay, now that I've actually adjusted these guys, like I said, if you were to really do it for the rifle that you'd be using, you could take these off and cut it and make it like exactly how you want it. But for the video, I'm just gonna leave it like this. Hopefully that'll save me some embarrassment later on. Probably still be a little bit. But now we have the universal adapters. I've adjusted them so they're just not so big. And then we have the sling keepers. Let's go into the 2-point sling itself. It's a very straightforward, yet I should say elegant 2-point sling. We have what I call right here the Twinkie pad. It is wide and thick, so it's a good piece of actual one-piece foam inside there. Very strong, very long-lasting, and it's also extremely comfortable. Will fit right over that portion that you're going to be wearing it on, so the pad will be right there. On top of which, this nylon is NIR resistant. I used the same nylon that I used in the Vicarian plate carrier. I pointed off camera because it's to my side, but you don't see it. And this is NIR resistant. So yes, I use the same nylon as that. And it has just 2 open-ended pieces on either end. So the open end in the front and open end on the back. Now, the sling itself is a standard 2-point sling. Right up here is the adjustment piece. You have the Twinkie pad back here. And then on the front is the part that you'd actually make your sling shorter or longer. And as standard, you pull back, the sling gets longer, right? And then you pull forward and the sling gets tighter. Now, what you can do is you actually can run this through, take this off, and you can adjust the throw on the sling so that when you pull forward, the sling gets looser. Then when you pull back, the sling gets tighter. But anybody who does reverse throw on their sling probably likes pineapple on pizza, and your opinion should not be respected anyways. So with that being said, I'm not going to do that on video because number 1, I'd mess it up, and number 2, almost nobody does it, but I'm just saying it's an option. So now I'll show you guys how to mount it to the shotgun right over here. Like I said, I've already adjusted it to make it a little bit of an easier length so it looks a little better when I do it. Still, forgive me because I haven't fully adjusted the sling to the gun. This is just for demonstration, but let's do it anyways here. So I'm just going to run this right through an M-lock section in the front. You can do this with your AR. I'm sure if you have space, you can run this, right? If you have enough space to do it, you can find some place to run this through. There you have him. He's mounted right there. Then let's take the back and mount the same way. there you have it. A little long in the back, but it'll be okay. Now you can take your sling and you can simply run it through. I'm just going to use, you can do it however you want, but I'm just going to use the one tab in the front. This actually has 2 separate pass-throughs that you can do. Like I said, you can run it any way you want. And there you have it up front. Nice and tight. Again, could be a little better as far as the adjustment, but for the video, it'll be fine. And same thing on the back here. I just run it through one of them. There's multiple spaces you can run it towards, but again, said multiple ways to skin a cat here. And now you have your own fully functioning 2-point sling right there. I'll stand up a little bit and take it. So you have your sling right here. You know, it's kind of hard for me to film because I'm 6'6". Every time I do anything, I'm off the camera. But so you have it right here, and you pull, gets looser, pull forward, gets tighter. There it is. Standard 2-point sling, easy to don on and off, very comfortable. And like I said, the nylon part here is NIR resistant. Now, what you can do is there is actually a Marine squadron who enjoyed the Gizmø Glider, and they were when I say squadron, you're going to hear next, they were an Osprey squadron. So it was a bunch of crew chiefs and whatever you do on an Osprey. And what you can do with the Gizmø Glider is take the tabs and run it around like you would a hair clip. So imagine this was their M4, right? They could take it and keep their sling, and then they run this down probably a little bit closer. Then you could keep it a little tighter. You could keep your sling tight to the right, to your long gun, like so. And what the Marines liked was that when they did it this way, they told me that they could take their Gizmø Glider, because now you're on an Osprey, you don't want shit flying around, but when they needed their rifle, they could just take their sling and push back on it, like so, like I just did with one smooth motion. And now your sling is good to go. And on top of which, your keepers retained on the sling. And that way you can simply take it, just as I did, throw it over your shoulder, and now well, a little longer, but your long arm is good to go. So that's just a cool way you can utilize those keepers. Again, just run them through like so. And you can take your sling and fold it over and put your sling keepers back to where they were. Let's see if I can run this webbing right underneath it. You can run the webbing. It's a little tougher, but you can take the webbing and shove it right on underneath. And same thing with this guy over here. I'll just pop it off, it's easier. You take it, run your webbing through, run your sling keeper around like a hairband. Keep it on, and now, like I said, right here, all nice and tight. You can pull on it so it stays flat against your long arm. And then when you need it, you can just simply take it. I'll do it one more time. Just take it, push up, and over, and there you go. And that is the Gizmø Glider 2-point padded sling. We have a good, nice, thin and thick pad. Here I say wide and thick, not thin and thick. Nice, wide and thick pad. And it comes with universal paracord mounts. Fully adjustable 2-point sling. Pretty straightforward. There you guys have it. And that has been, and again, just to reiterate, you can take this off. You don't have to use this. You can mount whatever system you want to it, but it does come with the universal mount. So there you have it. That has been the Gizmø Glider padded 2-point sling. Email us if you have any questions or give us a call. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in the Goat Gang.